Like, we've been good. I don't know if, like, it's since the last time he got out of jail. Like, we've been good, and he's been having his classes and seeing his probation officer, who's amazing. So...
What do you mean by good? What's your definition of good?
No, I'm just asking, in the past, like, have you ever zipped him up in anything, jokingly or not, but obviously no. I understand, you know, you're claiming that Sunday it was a joking matter, you were laughing, he was laughing, but what I'm just asking is in the past, like, is it something that you guys normally do?
Absolutely not. It's like this.
Okay. But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just...
Was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah.
I can't
breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just, like, he thinks that he's... woe is me kind of thing, where it's like, I don't...
Well, he's never been locked in a suitcase. That's where he couldn't get out, so...
It's kind of... I thought it was the boy crying wolf.
I hope everybody's sofa seatbelts are still strapped in from the last video that we watched of this. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch that other one. And before we get started on this one, I just want to say welcome back to the damn Sofa Squad. Y'all, that's the damn sofa, and that's my damn sassy sidekick, Mr. Roscoe P. Coltrane. And my damn name is Paul. Now, y'all, today we're going to be continuing on with the Sara Boone interrogation. The layout of these kind of videos is that I will put clips up that I have taken from the interrogation, and I will make commentary on them. And then I will go back later and read the comments and see what y'all had to say about it too. So be sure and drop some down in there. Before we even get started though, I do always like to say thank you to everybody who makes this channel possible. Y'all, wouldn't be here without you. I couldn't make the amount of content that I do without you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Roscoe thanks you, and the damn sofa thanks you too. Now, if you want to follow my other channel, it's the podcast version of this. I go live from time to time, and I also do like quick case updates, that kind of stuff over there, and like current events, yada yada yada. Be sure and check that out. The link is in the description below. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just get on into this hot mess. Like I said, this is the second part of this because part one ended up being like an hour long, so I needed to break it into two. And this one might end up being that long too, but we're going to get through it today. So go ahead, buckle on up and pull up your damn chair, because here we go.
I just...
Well, it's not like, again, I don't think you all understand. Like, it's...
I mean,
that was not my intention.
Well,
y'all don't have any idea what I've done for him.
But by your acts, and that's exactly right.
Okay, so again, if you watched part one, you already know she started in with the word unintentional and intentions and all this type of stuff. So let's just go ahead and put it on the damn table. Y'all, she is claiming this is unintentional. Evidence will show otherwise. Okay, that is what it is. But as you can hear, the investigator is getting to the heart of it, where you've done so much for someone and then they're not grateful, or they do something, or whatever the case is, right? Which is clearly what has gone on here. And poor Jorge lost his life because of it.
What would you say if somebody told you that they had done this?
Done what?
Zipped somebody in a suitcase and went up and went to bed.
Do you all not think... So you all think that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you guys are trying to assume?
Now, this one's kind of like, she's like, is that what you're trying to assume? And it's like this, honey, that's what the video shows happen, okay? This is the disconnect with Sarah, is she's trying to go for this level of the intention and all this, where they just show the damn video of her cussing at him and him begging and screaming to get out, and she's getting pleasure out of this. So that's what's just weird, is that even with the evidence right in her face, she's still trying to squirm her way out of it.
Please do not assume.
I'm not assuming. I haven't assumed anything. I follow evidence.
But my intention was not, again, oh good, I got him in there, now I'm just going to go to sleep.
What do you think someone that knows nothing about this, or hears just a little bit, like, oh, they were playing around in a suitcase,
she's been drinking,
and then watches
probably
that video.
went to sleep. That's what happened.
Now, I'll say this, little Miss Sarah is a master at walking in circles here. I love the investigators, how she's like, we follow evidence. Because that's what, again, if you look at the evidence, you follow it and it doesn't look good. And Sarah's just latched onto this, what is my intention? But again, when you look at the evidence, it's like, hello. whether she's drinking or not. Now, I 100% do believe that she probably did not remember recording those videos. I do think she was probably in a blackout state for that. So in her world, I think there's some level of being like, you know, oh, I didn't mean to do this. Like, there's some level of that coming in. But I personally, and again, this is just my opinion here, I think that she never thought they would kill him, but 100% had no issue just leaving him in there to make him, like, suffer overnight or whatever, right? And she probably went upstairs and passed out because she was in blackout state.
This is horrific, okay? Horrific.
It is terrible.
Yeah, so
Horrific. I don't think I'll ever be right because of this. Ever be right. Dealing with everything else that I have in my life, personally. And then this,
Okay.
whom I love.
Again, same MO that we've seen already. Everything comes back to her. If you've dealt with these personality types in your life and you know this, everything relates back to them. I won't ever be right. I won't ever this. I won't ever that. Well, Jorge's not going to ever be right either because he lost his life because of it.
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there?
Because I'm looking at the hole knowing that it's there. He'll get out no problem. Because you don't.
And then he doesn't, but you don't go check on him.
Again, I love that the investigator is leaving the tape going, or whatever you want to call it, the recording, so that it agitates the hell out of her. She doesn't want to have her actions there in front of her. She has no accountability, right? It actually really disgusts me. But also, look at how angry she's getting at them. And again, if you've dealt with these personality types and you know that they get pissed off, they're so used to people doing whatever they want to do because they just don't want to deal with them. It's easier just to pander to them or whatever and move along. But that's not going to happen in this situation. I discussed this in the first video we did of it, where I think that she just gets really irritated because she's like, it's not intentional, not intentional, unintentional. And they're just not going with it because, again, the evidence shows the complete opposite. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it was intentional or not. It's like you got up and you went upstairs and you went to sleep and he died. Period. Right? It's bizarre enough. I mean, God knows, if you've seen the video of the suitcase and him trying to get out and moving around, it's horrifying, y'all. This man lost his life in an absolutely horrifying way at her hands.
You guys are killing me right now.
I just want you to hear.
That's how he talks to me most of the time.
She's not helping her case either in this. Shut the F up. That's how I talk to him most of the time. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like just more and more where it's like, girl, like just, you need a lawyer at this point. Okay, when they say don't talk, get a lawyer, this is what they're talking about. She needs a lawyer. Again, it's no skin off our noses because at least it brings people to justice, but it just baffles me to see how she thinks she's probably helping her situation out, but she's not, and it just keeps getting cringier.
And I will tell you both this right now, too. I will never drink alcohol again.
Okay.
Like, I will never drink alcohol again. I don't care what it is in any way, shape, or form.
But let's get back to this. What was the reason for leaving him when he's begging to be left?
Again, she's making deals with God, all sorts of things. The cops, I'll never do this again. She keeps thinking it's going to go away. And notice the cop, okay, but let's get back to this. That's great and dandy. Now they're thinking, well, you're probably never going to walk out of jail again. So unless it's some damn hooch that y'all make in the bathroom, you know, you're probably not going to be drinking anything, you know, but they just keep pointing her right back to the evidence, because all she wants to do is run away from it.
There was obviously something in your head that you were thinking of when he was asking to be let out, and you're like,
again, it's the boy calling wolf.
Okay, but where's this game in?
And this is where I can't tell, and I said in the first video, I do believe, and I just feel like, and again, I don't have any evidence of this, but I feel like she probably had some alcohol in her during this time, or maybe she was hungover or something, because she just shows these signs to me of somebody who, this irritability that she's coming up with, the boy who cried wolf, obviously the wrong way. I mean, she's getting like pissed that they're not believing her, but she doesn't want to come out and say this. I think that she knew from the very beginning that if you remember back to the video that they did of her, the police body cam and they showed up and she was so nervous and anxious, like she has guilt on her shoulders. But it's interesting how it also comes through in these like anger moments. I think if she was left to her own devices and this was like an argument over who's going to wash the dishes at home, she would be turning violent at this point.
And he has a lump on his eye.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. Like, this is not fair.
100% Karen. She 100% would like use expired coupons to get pissed off at the grocery store if they don't take them. I mean, the 100% TikTok meltdown videos, she is that person. It all comes down, this is not fair, this is not fair. This is a spoiled toddler losing their ish that we are watching.
I'm blaming it on the wine.
Now this one, I was like, girl, we've all been there. She finally says some kind of truth. This was basically, I'm charging it to the damn game, okay? That's all she could say. I blame it on the wine. I'm like, yeah, honey, that's definitely a factor. Okay, so I'm glad that we've gotten that far in the confession.
You've used it today, too, to say that you guys were within your wits. There's two empty bottles of wine.
No, but we didn't drink both of them.
I think you did.
Now here we start getting into the dynamic of the drinking aspect, like how much that was going on and whatnot. And you see where, again, I personally think, and again, we don't know because Jorge's not here to speak, they're saying they found 2 empty wine bottles. The receipt for them shows they were purchased. She's saying we didn't drink those. We don't know if Jorge drank one or whatever. We don't know, right? And I'm not trying to blame him for it, but I'm just trying to give everyone the benefit of the doubt here. Because one thing I think with her is I think that it's so weird that she either is just completely lying in the face of all this evidence, but I also think that there's a level where she doesn't understand that she's probably blacking out and probably doesn't remember drinking one of the bottles maybe. But then I'm like, well, maybe Jorge drank one and didn't tell her about it. And you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. Like, we don't know, right? But regardless, we're starting to get into the dynamic where she's actually admitting to the drinking. Because remember, we start off with, I'm not alcoholic, I'm not this, I wasn't drunk, I wasn't that. Now we're at, I'm blaming it on the wine, and now we're talking about the amount of wine consumed.
Wow.
But we're watching a video that, after talking to you, everything was laughing and fun. Now we're watching a video where it's not laughing and fun. He's begging for his life. And you are in a very angry voice telling him to fuck off.
No.
Yes.
Y'all, if we were technology advanced enough, and I don't know if that's even a way to say that, but it is what it is. If we had advanced enough technology, I'm making up new grammar over here. If we had advanced enough technology, like that one movie where we could like rewind and go back to a moment in time, like a movie, like real life, like go back to that, y'all, that wouldn't be enough for her. She would still lie. It doesn't matter that they have this video, right? That's what just baffles me. Is she is latched onto, but it wasn't my intention. But it wasn't my intention. Well, my thing, I would argue too, is, well, how do you know what your intention was? Because according to you, you have no recollection of recording the damn video.
If someone can do something for themselves, they're going to do it. They don't need assistance unless they need assistance. So, but why would he start?
I love, again, I'll say it 100 times during this video, I love the reasoning of the detectives because they're thinking like what we do. If he could have gotten out on his own like she's claiming, he would have done it, okay? He would have done it a long time ago before he, I don't know, suffocated and died. And then she goes right back to the, well, I left it unzipped. Well, I left it unzipped. And it's like, but it doesn't matter. This is what baffles me with it. He couldn't get out. He was asking you for help, and your response was, F you. This is what you make me feel like when you cheat, da-da-da-da-da. You know, if that was true, whatever, that's an entirely different subject. But at the end of the day, if this is to the point that this is going on, that you're going to torture somebody over something like that, there's so many other issues going on, right? And clearly this ended in his loss of life.
Not intentionally.
Again,
I would never do that to George.
you did.
Not intentionally. Know that.
I don't.
Know that.
You got up and you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a shitty thing. It's alcohol.
Yeah, I cannot with this. Okay. First of all, she's edging on the point where if I was in, of course they've dealt with these situations, whatever. She's making me uncomfortable watching it because I'm like, don't lean into her like that. She's liable to attack you. Because, I mean, again, with the unintentional But leave that. She is so pissed that they will not take her word and just move on and forget all this happened. And then she goes right back, alcohol is a terrible thing. Remember that thing that, what was his name? Chappelle used to say when he did that one character, crack is a terrible drug or whatever. That's what she reminds me of in here. This literally though, I mean, watching it, and at the end of the day, and number one, it's sad that somebody lost her life. But number two, it's really, really sad to see someone in the throes of all of this going on, because I'm like, you know what? I do believe that alcohol played a huge role in this, clearly on top of other stuff going on, right? But at the end of the day, I'm just like, this is unfortunately where this can lead. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad to see that somebody lost their life and somebody's thrown their life away over it. Now, I do believe that there's other stuff adding up to this along the way, right? I'm not just strictly blaming an alcohol addiction on this, because I think evidence has shown that there's so much other stuff going on, that this is a relationship that never should have happened. And honestly, when we see things like we did recently with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and you see all this kind of stuff, that's why a lot of the narrative, like my thoughts were, I'm like, they're both lucky to be alive, because this is the kind of situation right here that can lead to when you just have two people that don't need to be together, right? And you have substances mixed in and all this kind of crazy stuff. I mean, this is what can happen. It can happen in a split second.
It's alcohol.
So
Not,
alcohol
again,
is the reason that you killed him?
you all,
Please sit down.
listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen. I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention.
I don't know what it is I need to
punish
do,
him?
or how to do it, or what to say, or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Everything that I've done for George, and love him, and continuously.
So see, in this one, this is where she starts standing up. She starts getting all up in it, right? And he's like, sit down, because she makes me nervous because she's so unhinged, right? And again, she just goes right back to what I feel is the reasoning that this all went down, is she feels like he took advantage of her or was ungrateful. She did all this for him. She looks at herself as his savior, 100%, right? Like he owes her his life, right? In her world is what I personally think. And so when he thanks her by going out and doing whatever, and again, I don't know personally, I'm just going by what she's saying. Apparently he's cheated on her. You know, they've had that, some evidence does show that they had domestic situations, things of this nature. Regardless, this is a slap in her face, and this seems to be something that, you know, just pushed her over the edge this particular evening.
But no one's
And
laughing.
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's having a good day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day.
I mean, amen to the Daylight Detective. If this is a damn good day, what the hell does a bad day look like? I mean, Jesus, I mean, come on, people. You know, I mean, it's just, again, she just doesn't know. She's panicking right now. I'm sure she's very nervous. You can see her wiping her hands. She's very nervous, and she just keeps going back to these key words. Good day. Unintentional. Alcohol.
Y'all are making me out to be a person that I'm not. Or will I ever be.
Or are you a different person when you're drunk?
Now that one threw her for a loop, because that's probably a lot going on here, right? I think she's one of these people that when alcohol touches her lips, she instantly turns and becomes this different person. And I think we can clearly see, again, if you drink for wine, can be a different kind of a buzz, right? Now, especially if it's like cheap wine or something like that, and it has that kind of just really depressing vibe to it or whatever. And so I think that that's going on a lot, because when we saw the evidence of her, what she was saying to him, that kind of a thing, I mean, she just sounded like this, like she went to this dark, evil place, right?
Back again, so you had to.
I'm leaving it like this, please. I'm leaving it like this. I did not intentionally do this. No malicious content or effort was towards this. No malicious.
Here's where the true desperation kicks in. They're kind of all at a crossroads of nothing much more can come out of this. Everyone knows that she thinks that she did it. She knows this, they know this. The evidence speaks for itself. She's saying unintentional. She's not going to back down from that. Where do you go from here? She's freaking out.
I love George. Love him. To this day still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what, I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him.
I really don't get that part, but again, this just plays into the what she thinks she's done for him, all this kind of stuff. You know, again, he's an investment. You know, these people who latch onto somebody else's life and want to do the savior complex, they become investments to the person, right? And clearly he was, but you know, you see how it ended.
I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him, so.
Wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh gosh. Okay.
She just keeps striking out on these. I mean, it's just, she walks herself into it, y'all. She walks herself into it. I would do anything for him, and I just love the cops. Well, you gave up, you know, checking up on him. You didn't let him out of the suitcase. I mean, it's the truth, right? I mean, it's just, it's like, my God. And it's just, again, they're just at this place where it's like, y'all, let's get the cuffs out. That's where we're at with this now.
It was a great day.
Okay.
It didn't end well, obviously.
I was going to say, that's, I mean...
I can't explain to you. I can't explain to you.
How does someone have their wits about them when...
See, that's the thing, too. But you can clearly tell. You can clearly tell that I had been drinking some. You can clearly tell.
I had several people that came up to me in that apartment complex said that you were drunk on a daily basis. And
Oh, my
you were screaming at
gosh.
him
Right.
regularly.
Right.
Yeah, and here we get into more evidence of the drinking. So again, here's where more of the truth comes out, because when you listen to kind of how she describes her days, I mean, part of me is like, what do you do during the day? Like, it just sounds like you hang out and kind of drink, right? If that's your thing, great, fine, but this is messy, right? And so him describing these neighbors and stuff, and we're going to hear even more where it's like, yeah, you can get a full picture of she's getting sloshed on a daily basis and probably verbally abusing him and doing all this kind of stuff. What we saw taking place in the way she was talking to him is probably an everyday occurrence, and then this just like went off into way left field.
So, and that couldn't have been because of him being in the suitcase. Or y'all are saying that I physically did it.
That's what she's determining.
So
The ones on the head, I asked her, could that have been from the suitcase, and she said she didn't think so.
I didn't touch him, nor did he touch me.
Okay.
I'm leaving it at that.
Okay.
So in the segment we just watched, she has a list of questions that she had for them. Of course, this is going to be useless at this point for her. And one of the things that she was asking about the scars, the bruises, all this type of stuff. And they're at this point in the game, they're still trying to determine what went on. But, you know, the question was, which would be a logical question, you know, well, did these scars or whatever come from the suitcase? And basically the examiner or whatever is like, probably not. And so then we see her, okay, you think I did it? I didn't touch him. I'm leaving it at that. I mean, there's this level of dramatics with her that honestly just comes off as, I mean, disgusting, number one. But there's almost like just this, you know, this absurdity to it. I'm just like, oh my God, how could they even just get through some of this interview with her? You know, because she's just so desperate. And like, I think at this point in the game, she's avoiding getting to the part of knowing what's going to happen, which is she's going to be arrested.
Whatever bruise,
Here's the thing.
Whatever on the head.
We had to deliver news to them last night that their son was dead. There's not a whole lot of conversation that goes on after that. It's not a very easy thing
Was
to
it
do.
yesterday or Sunday? Sunday. Today's Tuesday, right?
Did we not meet you yesterday? We met you yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Right? Did we not meet yesterday?
It's a valid question.
Really? Yes, on Monday.
Okay.
Again, more evidence of the truth of the drinking matter. She has no recollection. And this is the thing. This is what I think will really mess her up in court and whatnot. Clearly, she loses time, if you will. I think she just blacks out. I think she drinks and I think she blacks out. She has no recollection of what she's done. And honestly, it's really sad to see this because it's scary to see what can take place because, I mean, it's like, whoa. I mean, to this level right here where she's not even remembering. Now, granted, there could be a level of, like, I mean, if something like this is going on, it's like, wait, what's happening? You know, a level of trauma. But nonetheless, I think that she, that evening, still got crocked. You know, and it's just kind of lost time or whatever.
how do I go about getting his wedding ring, engagement ring?
It's at the medical examiner's office. It'll come to us eventually, and then
It'll be released to the next of kin.
Yeah, okay.
I bought it for him.
Okay.
That is a civil issue. It was on his finger, it goes to them, they're the ones that are going to release it. We don't have any say in that.
So I won't get that back.
Again, this is probably, like, what would even make you think to ask that question? What would make you think to ask it? Even if you had it on your list going in there and seeing how this all went, I would have been like low-key erasing that one and certainly never would have asked it. Not Sarah.
I get it. Look, I get it. That looks really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what scares me. Like, what do I need to plan on? Like, what do I need to plan on? I promise you, on my son's life, it was not intentional. I promise you, on Lucas's life, it was not intentional.
I don't know you. I can't say I know anything about you. I don't know what would be a true statement, what would not. I mean, you're promising on your son's life, that's fine.
That's how much it means.
Again, we're in the groveling stages. She's promising on her son's life. What do you say to that as the cop? You know, okay. I think that Sarah might have this thing to think it's going to get her out of trouble, or, you know, I don't know. But again, in these interrogations and these interviews and this kind of stuff like this, looking at what is said in between, she has said so much without saying any words throughout this interview, you know, or getting caught up in basic things like forgetting that they met, forgetting this, we didn't drink with us 2 bottles of wine, you know, the list could go on, right? So again, in this kind of scenario of now promising on her son's life, I'm just like, yeah, this is absolutely not.
The fact that you guys would assume that I'm that kind of person.
We're not assuming anything. We're going by the facts. It happened.
Like you said, you don't know me.
So again, she's just, you know, in her world, she's thinking she's leaving. You know, she's kind of hanging around waiting. She's going to put her little notes back. You don't know me. I can't believe that y'all think I'm this type person. She's very stuck on assumption. You know, it's just, she's just not getting it.
Nonetheless, I have to live without him now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his daughters too.
Are you trying to make it worse?
Sorry, what?
Are you trying to make it worse?
Make what worse?
How I feel?
I mean, just so self-absorbed. You know, and again, I just love these interrogators because, you know, the cops or what, detectives, whatever you want to call them, you know, because she decides that out there, I'm going to have to live without him. Again, everything is about, not once has she talked about the horrifying death that he had, right? No, and it's all about how it's affected her. And then he decides it in, yep, and his daughters too. And it's just the way she just looks at him throughout, and both of them through the investigation. You know, are you trying to make it worse? You know, and it's just like, oh my God. Again, I can't imagine a day in the life with this woman at home. It would have, torture.
Because anytime we talk to somebody, we want to assure that everything that we've talked about is
true and accurate to the best of that person's knowledge.
It's not a trick question.
To the best of my knowledge?
To the best of your knowledge.
Everything that you've told us today is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, but it was not intentional.
Okay. Okay.
All right, do me a favor, stand up. I need you to turn around, face the wall, put your hands behind your back. Do you have anything in your pockets that I should know about?
No.
Okay.
Why is this happening?
Because George is dead.
Not intentionally.
We understand that.
He's still dead.
Well, we don't
Someone
really
needs to
understand
call
that.
Brian, please.
Okay.
Or can I not make a phone call?
You'll be able to make a phone call when we get you down to the jail.
So why is this happening? So this was a trick.
No, it's not a
No,
trick.
not
How's
a
it a
trick.
trick? I'm in here to ask you to explain a few things to us, and
You were read your rights.
your response to everything was basically, I didn't do it.
Oof, awkward moments 101. My God, she didn't see that coming. So, yeah, that whole thing of, okay, well, all right, they did their little signal and they got it. They put this cuffs on. Why is this happening? And I just love that because Jorge is dead, honey, okay? Like, why do you think it's happening? Because you jaywalked 10 minutes before you got here. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, and then she just really hits home with the unintentional. Unintentional. And again, here's my thing. I don't think she understands the different levels of charges. And what she's not understanding is like, honey, it can be unintentional all day long. It's called manslaughter, okay? You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know particularly how it works there in Florida or whatever, but you get where I'm going. It's like, he's still dead, okay? And the evidence does not look good. He is begging for you to let him out of a suitcase, and you're cussing him out and berating him, and then you go upstairs and go to bed and he dies. That to me is intentional, but regardless, it's like, you know, there might not be premeditation to it because it probably was like a drunken thing or whatever that just kind of they happened into. But nonetheless, it didn't result in anything good for him nor her.
Not intentional.
We had to get that one last word. She's going to keep saying it until the very bitter damn end. That is just what the video is probably going to be called, the damn title, Unintentional.
We were trying to figure out what's going on. We're still trying to figure out what's going on.
Unintentionally.
And there we unintentionally have the intentional end of that debacle. Oh my God. So again, if you're still watching, drop some hearts for Jorge. He died a horrifying death at the hands of this woman. Whether it's intentional or unintentional, it does not matter. It was absolutely a horrible way to go from this earth that nobody absolutely deserves their final moments to be. So, we will be following the old Sara Boone case and seeing what she's up to. And that's it. So thank you again for everybody who makes the channel possible. If you have any interrogations that you want me to look over or do or review or whatever, like just drop it in the comments or email me. All that stuff's below. And there's another little link popping up here to another interrogation. So be sure and check that one out if you like these. And until we gather around the damn sofa and the damn computer and all that fun stuff, I'll see y'all soon.